So this is Javier Milei, the president of Argentina. And apparently he's at CPAC celebrating his $40 billion bailout. You can see here, president of Argentina, Javier Milei doing the Trump dance. And CPAC is basically they're raising money, hanging out with Republicans, having a party, right? Trump dance at Mar-a-Lago after getting a $40 billion bailout. Meanwhile, Trump won't renew subsidies for American healthcare. There he is. And while this is going on, again, while they're celebrating the bailout for Argentina, you have people in effectively a food line at the food bank in Cleveland. This is from Fox News. It says, watch. Long lines stretch outside a Cleveland food bank after federal SNAP payments are paused due to the ongoing government shutdown. And what Fox News doesn't tell you is the Trump people don't want to pay the money. And I keep asking the same thing in the last week. If you watched it, it's like, where's the money? Trump people actually rushed to the Supreme Court to be like, I don't want to pay the food money. I don't want to release the funds. And this is where we're at. People waiting in line because there's not enough food, essentially. Can't put food on the table. And yet Argentina's celebrating. And if you're wondering, like, well, maybe the Argentina thing is not real. No, it's a real. This is the CPAC website. Because I myself even thought this is so absurd. Maybe this is not real, right? That's why you look it up. Argentina President Javier Milei to speak at the 2025 CPAC Circle Retreat and Gala, right? And if you don't believe me still, this is the Office del Presidente, right? So this is I guess, the official Argentina website here. And there's Milei hanging out with people in Miami at CPAC again. These are just a bunch of Republicans. Like, oh my God, I want to get a selfie with Milei because Milei's awesome. And honestly, what I think is going on, I honestly think they're planning some sort of retirement or something in Argentina. And if you know anything about history, I'll just say after Germany fell after World War II, a lot of people in the Mustache Party went to Argentina. So is that where all these people are planning to go? And they're just celebrating, wow, let's go to Argentina. Isn't this like bizarre? It doesn't seem real. It's so ridiculous. And then you look at this. The Washington Post put this together. This is Trumpers, and he was trying to stay awake during his own meeting here. It's laughable, it's absurd, it's sick. I can cry and get angry, right? But I just show you what it is. You have a guy who can barely stay awake. He doesn't even care about the stuff that's going on, right? I mean, this is Trump. And yet, the only time he'll wake up, I guess, is when he can hang out with the president of Argentina and celebrate bailouts to, new retirement home or whatever. It's so ridiculous. This is what Trump is tweeting out right now, because he's always tweeting something, right? So according to Trump, the United States Senate should not leave town until they have a deal to end the Democrat shutdown. So he's claiming the Democrats' fault, right? If they can't reach a deal, the Republicans should terminate the filibuster. Okay, so I guess the nuclear option immediately and take care of the great American workers. So that's according to Trump. He's in Miami telling everyone else to stay at work. It doesn't say, like, this stuff is so absurd. It doesn't seem real. And then, oh, by the way, we'll celebrate and dance to the YMCA with the Argentinian bailout guy. This is more Republicans. I want to show you what's going on. And this person says, be an American. Senator Cassidy calls out entrenched Democrats who automatically reject policies when President Trump voices support of them. So the way that the Republican, their strategy is, wow, you're just a hater. You just hate Trump. And if Trump says it, you just hate it. And the way this always plays out is every accusation is a confession. So, for example, about 3/4 of the country are actually fine with extending the current system with the Obamacare thing. But basically what it is if you call it Obamacare, people are like, oh man, Obama, I hate Obama. That's Republicans will think that way. But if you say, hey, how about affordable healthcare? Oh, well, I like affordable healthcare, right? So they're trying to play those games, and it's just stupid. But this is what it is, and this is a Democrat here, so this would be Chris Murphy.
I want to tell you where we are with the shutdown, which is now the longest shutdown of the government in this country's history. The bottom line is still the same. Republicans are refusing to negotiate. House Republicans are still not in Washington. I think this is like the 6th or 7th week that they haven't been here. We can't solve the shutdown if Trump and Republicans are refusing to negotiate, and half of them aren't even in town. But Democrats just made an offer, a very reasonable, simple offer that Republicans should accept. We said, we'll vote to open the government with you. so long as you just extend these Affordable Care Act tax credits for 1 year, just 1 year. Obviously, I want the...
And I honestly think that's a reasonable proposal, because the basic gist of it is people are getting letters in the mail that your costs are going to go up, right? And the Republicans say, well, we hate Obamacare. Okay, fine. Then what else you got? And they don't have anything. And this is where the whole crux of the fight is at. And there's like, okay, if you don't have anything, let's extend what we currently have for another year, form a committee and come up with something else. The Republicans just want to tell you what their point of view is. No, reopen the government and we promise to talk about it. And the promises are worthless. This is Trump. And that's why you have to show what Trump people are doing. They're out partying with Argentina. It's crazy. Here's Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer says, Democrats offered a perfectly reasonable compromise to get out of this ridiculous shutdown. Vote to reopen the government, approve a one-time temporary extension of current ACA premium tax credits, negotiate longer-term fixes to ACA affordability after we open. But Republicans stormed out the gate to dismiss our offer. Great. This is what Republicans say, because I want to give you different point of views. Lindsey Graham says, makes no sense. This is from Senator Lindsey Graham, rejects calls to, quote, extend the debacle called Obamacare, as Democrats keep refusing to vote for the Republican bill to reopen the government. So basically, no negotiations. That's the Republican strategy. And they want you to keep they want to have no subsidies for you going forward, so your costs are going to go up. And then they'll say, well, we'll talk about solutions when you come back. That's their plan. Giving you different points of view. And this is also going on, which literally is just breaking right now. It looks like there's some sort of shooting with ICE or something. And you never know for sure for this stuff, because I'll just be frank with you guys. Sometimes ICE makes things up. They'll ICE is the kind of people that will ram into your car and then say, you hit me kind of thing. So you never know with this stuff. This is the early reporting though from Fox, just to tell you what it is. It just says breaking. Authorities are searching for a man who allegedly shot at U.S. Border Patrol, right? This is just breaking now. Agents during so I guess some guys allegedly shot at U.S. Border Patrol agents during an immigration operation in Chicago's Little Village. After the shooting, a group of people threw a paint can and bricks at Border Patrol agents, DHA said. So you never know exactly. Wait till you see footage on this stuff. I can look this stuff up later. I'm just saying I literally just saw it now. But this is the chaos that we have going on in USA again while they're partying with Argentina and dancing. I also want you to see this. This was an interesting point of view. I hadn't thought about this one. That's why I show you different things. This guy is talking about the private flights. Listen.
But in terms of a solution for the air traffic control problem, rather than let the politicians deal with it, I have a solution for the travel hell that we are all going to be going through, and it is very easy. Do not ground commercial flights packed to the gills with all of us regular Americans. Ground private and corporate jets until the shutdown is over. Right now, there are more than 100 NetJets airplanes in the air. In fact, NetJets, big private aviation company, is the largest private airline, the largest airline in the world by number of planes. They have almost 1,000 aircraft. Between NetJets, FlexJet, VistaJet, and charter operators, there are almost 1,000 trackable private jets in the air at any one time.
So I get the point of his proposal. And it's actually, even this person's more on the right side of the aisle, right leaning. Hey, if it sounds reasonable to me, I'll tell you. And that's why I said, hey, this doesn't sound so crazy. But this sort of represents the disconnect between, say, the Trumpers in Miami celebrating with, billionaires and such, celebrating about bailouts to Argentina, manipulating the system, when regular people suffer. What's strange to me, though, is how, and this is sort of the Republican point of view, or you want to call it the MAGA point of view, they'll hate on, rich people. If it's the Democrat side, they'll claim that Soros funds everything. That's what they always do. Oh, every protester must be funded and paid. And the joke, from, say, the Democrat side was like, okay, so where's my paycheck, right? But then when they say this kind of stuff, I always wonder how MAGA reacts to these things. Like, does MAGA know that they're partying in Miami? Does MAGA know about the private jet thing? I'm always curious, because from just a regular person point of view, I wish we could just have honest conversations about this stuff. It doesn't seem that crazy that what this person's proposing. So I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that one. And then you got this. This is what Trumpers is up to right now. He's just hanging out in Florida, right? This is how Trump is spending his weekend while millions are grappling with the effects of the government shutdown, right? Why are taxpayers paying millions of dollars for his golf trips? It's like every weekend he does this. And then when he's at work, he's sleeping. The whole thing is absolutely absurd. And this is more. I just want to show you what they're saying. This is from Trump. Trump says, I am recommending the Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently sent to money-sucking insurance companies, okay, in order to save the bad healthcare provided by Obamacare, be sent directly to the people. So I'm not sure what's going on here now. So I guess what we're talking about, are we abolishing insurance companies? Is that our plan now? And we're abolishing Obamacare. Is that our plan? And then we'll just give people taxes back, I guess, refunds. I don't know. This is Senator Mark Kelly. It's the Democrat side. See what he has to say.
Over the last couple of weeks, I've been talking to folks in Arizona, a lot of them now. Just yesterday, I spoke to a woman from Buckeye. I think her name was Leslie. She was a diabetic. Her premium is currently $600 a month. With these tax credits going away, it'll be over $1,000 a month. There was also a veterinarian I spoke to, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that her medication costs $8,000 a month. Her current premium is $900. It's going to go up to over $1,300 a month without these tax credits that, have been in place and helping people. And it's millions and millions of people who will be unable to afford their health insurance if we do not do something about this as Congress. The Speaker.
And that it's always good just to hear, right, what are this actual costs on the ground? And I ask you guys the same thing. Because remember, Trump and his friends, they're completely disconnected from this stuff because they don't know, Hey, I fly private. I don't even know what commercial people play at all, right? It's a two different worlds here. People who actually understand this stuff, meaning that you have to pay it all the time. And then people, it's like, to them, it's nothing. Like the billionaires, they don't ever think about this kind of stuff. It's meaningless to them. So these conversations make no sense to them. It's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. But these are real costs. Like this stuff's expensive. I think you guys know this. Listen to more what Bernie has to say about this.
This is where we are politically today. We have more income and wealth inequality than we've ever had in the history of this country. And yet Trump thought it appropriate to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1%. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and the other multi-billionaires, they get a tax break. And yet right now, today, he is working overtime to stop SNAP benefits going out to the 42 million Americans who depend upon these benefits.
And what Bernie's referring to, when we actually talked about this before in an earlier video, they filed that, they rushed to the Supreme Court to be like, I really don't want to pay. I really don't want to fund food money, right? So then you got people waiting in food lines. This whole thing is absolutely absurd. And then that's why then parting with Argentina, normally in I guess, a properly functioning country, this would be a massive scandal and you would be removed immediately from office. I'd like to hear from people in Canada or, Australia, UK, wherever you're watching from, Germany, France. Could you imagine that if your country gave this a massive bailout to Argentina and then you go off and party while your people are waiting in food lines? Could you imagine how that would play out politically if you weren't in USA? I want to hear this. And also want to hear from MAGA people. Like, how do they read this? Have you talked to any MAGA people? And what do they think about it? They think, oh, wow, yeah, save Argentina. I'm pretty sure they're not going to say that. I mean, it's obvious this is egregiously corrupt. So that's my thoughts on this. I want to tell you what's going on. And I'll make another video regarding other breaking news. So please stay tuned. And I'll catch you all next time.